Hello again, everybody, and welcome to a new week of You Bet CaneSport with Lee Sterling, our look at the Miami Hurricanes from the betting perspective. I'm Gary Furman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined once again by Lee Sterling himself of ParamountSports.com, your ultimate headquarters if you're a sports gambler. Lee Sterling will help you make money. We'll talk a little bit more about Paramount Sports in a minute. But first at hand, we must address the Miami Hurricanes, Lee, and we talked last week, and the Louisville game was identified as one that could be problematic for Miami. You said to take Louisville with the 5 points. It ended up being a 7-point margin. But I imagine that game played out very closely to what you and a lot of other people out there were anticipating. Did the Miami Hurricanes just conquer their last tough hurdle on their way to the ACC championship game?
I think we might have seen that. Cam Ward looked even better than I thought he had looked the entire year. And he's looked pretty darn good. I mean, the first throw that he makes for the touchdown, when he's rolling to the left and he throws that laser jet in the back of the end zone, not many quarterbacks can make that play. So
similar to the Gator game, he had the same exact play.
Maybe I think this one might have been a little bit farther. This was like 25 yards, something like that. Maybe a little bit farther. And my memory doesn't, I don't know exactly. I remember the play, but I don't remember, he was moving pretty quickly to his left when he threw that. He wasn't really sitting. Yeah. Hell of a throw and hell of a game. And overall good. Everyone is talking about the defense. You can't all of a sudden change the players. We're going to find out how good the coaching staff is because you got to have your own assistant coaches and your support staff scouting your own team. That's very important once you get to this point in the season. See who are they attacking and how, and you try to coach those kids up to try to improve in those different methods. So not going to be perfect, but I think we're playing a team this week that probably can't exploit our weaknesses like Louisville did, throwing the ball down the field. I watched the game twice, the Florida State game. I don't know if they threw a bomb in the game last week against Duke. Everything is underneath. So I think it helps us that they're not going to be able to exploit us as much as maybe some of these other teams. And the line's 21. And I think there's going to be a little bit of payback here, Gary, for 2 years ago when they won 45-3. So I don't see Mario taking out Cam Ward if we get up 28, 35 points to start the fourth. And maybe with 5-6 minutes to go in the game, he takes him out. So when you're looking to lay that kind of wood, you want to make sure that your starters are going to play, extended periods. And, also they want to send a message recruiting. We go head to head with Florida State, Florida, Bama, Georgia for so many players. This is one of those schools you can send a message to the kid. You say, hey, you really want to go to Florida State? So all they might have to sell is like playing time. What's crazy about this Florida State team, Gary, is not only are they really not that talented, it's not like they're young. I mean, they have a couple of young players mixed in, the running back, Davis, young, true freshman. Okay, there's a few other guys, but they're mainly like juniors and seniors. They just did not hit in on the transfer portal like they did the year before. So I like Miami. I'm going to lay the 21. I have them winning this game. Something like, I'm going to be kind. I'm going to give them 13 points, 45-13 Miami.
I'm going to throw up a little caution flag at what you said. I agree with you. Miami should win this game big. My concern is don't leave Cam Ward in for the duration. Because, I agree with you. Like they owe Florida State one from 2 years ago. They are going to want to pound them if they can. No doubt about it. But to me, you got to keep an eye on the big prize. I mean, you're in the game now for the big deal. And at the end of the day, Florida State is a floundering program right now, and an extra touchdown or two that, that hopefully you could get anyway with Emory Williams in there or Reese, whoever they choose to go with, might not be worth exposing Cam Ward any longer than they need to if this game goes the way that you and so many others think it will. So that'll be an interesting subplot on Saturday night without question. First, let's get out ahead of them.
Wait, why don't we go over under on how many, if Miami's up, how many points and when will they take him out? I think it's going to be, if it's in the fourth quarter, I think he's going to have to be at least 35 points up to take him out.
I'll say 28 points because the line's 21. If it's 28, they'll have the line beat, and then they can get him out of there and hopefully keep him healthy. Because the last thing, I would hate to see that, man. That would
no. I agree with you. If I'm the coach, Gary, I'm not playing to cover. I mean, but I think that he wants to make a statement.
He's going to want to make a statement.
Yeah, with 5-6 minutes to go in the game, if they're up, 45-10, or even 38-10, I would take him out. But we'll see. We'll see when he calls
the
off
remainder of the regular season. Me personally, I'd get him the hell out of there as soon as the game is decided. It's just not worth it, man. You're, like I said, you have a really good team here, best offense in the country. Not worth risking it to pound people into oblivion at this point, in my opinion. But
the other really alarming thing about Florida State is I've never seen more drop passes from a receiving corps. The last team that I saw drop this many passes, and I watch a lot of games, a lot of teams, was the Wyoming team with Josh Allen at quarterback that I know led the nation. I was looking for stats. I can't find that drop stats. They keep a lot of different stats, like third and fourth down efficiency on defenses and fourth down efficiency and third for offenses, things like that. But I'll eventually find it. But I would gather that they are in the top 3 drop passes. Maybe that's why they throw so many screen passes and passes underneath.
Yeah, isn't that amazing that Josh Allen played for Wyoming? But anyway, so one thing I wanted to ask you is, a situation like this with Florida State has got to be the kind of thing that drives the people in your industry out of their minds. Like, this was supposed to be a good team coming into the season. Yeah. They were top 10 in the country. I'm not sure what you saw when you looked at them over the offseason and whether you anticipated this decline in their game. But I got to think a lot of people were made to look a little bit bad the way Florida State showed up for this season.
So I thought it would be Miami and Clemson, and I thought Florida State would be right underneath. Who would think? The coach has a good track record. Mike Norvell the year before hit on everyone. Who would think he'd miss on almost every single kid? I mean, I did not like their quarterback, and that's why I thought they were going to take a little bit of a hit. But I mean, everywhere else, there's not many guys that you look at their roster and go, I fear this guy. Last year, obviously it was something special with Jordan Travis. He had an incredible year, and you got to have a really good quarterback. Now they've gone from Jordan Travis to a quarterback that just is bad, and his backup now is even worse. So you just never know with the unknowns. That's what's making handicapping tougher. After I've seen a team 1 or 2 games, the first game I thought, maybe they just didn't play well. But then after 2 games, I knew this was a really bad team.
Yeah, but that had to just be early in the season, just a mess for the sports prognostication in the industry.
Oh, and Gary, there's a bunch of teams that start off poorly every single year and then, lose 2-3 games right out of the gate, and then they run off 4 or 5 wins in a row, straight up and against the spread. So that's why you got to stay on top of it. Things change. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, a couple other games we should talk about this week. Notre Dame is playing Navy in the Meadowlands, and interesting game there. Notre Dame's a 13-point favorite. What do you think?
So the unknown and the reason why the number is this high is no one knows how good Navy is. The only good team that they played and beaten was Memphis, but they just blew them out. I'm watching this team, Army and Navy, and I'll never forget the first game or two. I'm like, I don't know whether the other teams are that bad or this team is that good. They look different to me. Blake Horvath is their quarterback, and I if you're watching the game, I wonder how many times they're going to mention Roger Staubach, because I think he might be the best quarterback, believe it or not, for Navy since Roger Staubach. Not as good as Roger Staubach, but They're a running team. They run the option, triple option, but he has 10 touchdown runs so far. Okay, that's good. When was the last time you saw a Navy quarterback with 10 touchdown passes already? And he is almost on the money every single time. I don't know how this kid didn't start last year. I think he only had like 15, 20 attempts the entire year. He was like the third or fourth quarterback they played, but he has come out of nowhere. He is not a fluke, in my opinion. Their defense still is a little untested, but I think they're gonna move on Notre Dame and score on Notre Dame. People, I think, are going to be thinking, oh, Notre Dame beat A&M. Well, they beat A&M in the first game of a new coach. And sometimes, you're not going to see the same A&M team. A&M's a different team now than they were that first game. And then they also beat Louisville. But Louisville finds a way to lose to everyone. And then Georgia Tech, amazing, without Georgia Tech starting quarterback. I like Navy. I'm going to take a shot here. This is also one of the games I'm giving my clients. Besides the Miami game, getting 2 freebies. I like Navy to win this game outright, 26-23. I would put 75% of your money on Navy plus the 13, 25, 30% on a money line.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And then another interesting game, Texas A&M is home against LSU. They're 2.5-point favorites. Yep. What happens in that game?
So this is pretty much an elimination game, in my opinion, college football playoff. Connor Wegman started that first game against Notre Dame, then missed a bunch of games with injury, then came back against Missouri, played in that game, and then last week against Mississippi State. He looked really good in the Missouri game. Didn't throw for any touchdown passes, but so far in the year, 3 games he's played, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. I can't trust him here. I think Garrett Nussmeier is starting to settle in at LSU. I think if LSU had that opening week loss to USC, they played USC right now. I think they win by 10 to 14 points. So I think they've gotten better and better. I think they've got some really good receivers, Lacey and Anderson, number 1 and 2. Pretty easy to remember those names and numbers. Those 2 guys have combined for 69 receptions, 9 touchdowns. They got a true freshman running back, Caden Durham. I think they just have more weapons than A&M. A&M lost a couple of their key receivers to the transfer portal. They're solid, really good defensive line, but I like LSU's explosiveness. And also the underdog, 3-0-1 against the spread in the series the last 4 times these 2 teams have met. I like LSU outright, 28-24.
All right, awesome. And what's going on at Paramount Sports this week? Any specials for everybody?
Yeah, so we have what's called new promotion, the Halloween Booyah Bundle.
Ooh, booyah. Okay. What's that?
So it's every game in football from Friday through Sunday on our executive phone service. You'll probably get 10 to 12 games there. And we star rate them from 10 to 50 units. Last week, we went from Thursday through Monday, 9 and 4, hit another 40 unit max wager there on the University of Cincinnati. You're going to get every football game, Friday and Saturday nights, World Series selection, if we have something in baseball. All our hockey selections for 3 days, Friday through Sunday, and also NBA basketball. That way you can try all 4 of the major sports. If you bought them separately, be about $350, $147. How do you hop on board? Give it a try. We've won 7 out of 8 weeks. That's documented in football so far this year. ParamountSports.com, or see the number underneath, 800-400-9741.
That's a booyah if I've ever heard one. Get rich on Halloween. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, Lee. Well, thanks once again for your wisdom as always. And we'll see what happens this weekend. If Miami can blow out FSU and also hopefully keep Cam Ward healthy as they move forward in the season. So for Lee Sterling, I'm Gary Furman. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time, everybody.